This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
The stakes have never been higher. The competition has never been stronger. 42 drivers, 25 rounds. One will be crowned champion. Competition. Commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. You're watching the premier American open wheel series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
Sponsored by First Medical Equipment. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. Near the banks of the Lambro River sits the Autodromo Nazionale Monza, the host venue for today's Global SimRacing Channel's Round 14 coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series Season 7 Championship. Now, it was about this time of the season last season when Dan Guerin stepped out from the shadow of bad luck that had followed him early to make a late assault on the title. Currently, pundits, fans, and gamblers alike look for LIS rookie and real-world IndyCar driver Sage Karam to be well-suited for what Monza presents. But talk of Guerin and Karam, or even a mention of other top 5 drivers like Andrew Kinsella, Michael Goodman, and Justin Weaver, is just a poorly veiled misdirection to distract you, the viewer, from the obvious, that being Adam Blocker has a stranglehold on this championship. Will Blocker's competition break his grip and get a much-needed gasp of air? Or will they slip further towards Kenny Rogers singing, "I just stopped in to see what position my position was in"? Find out now as all the simulated Dallara IR18 racing action from the Plasma Tracks Grand Prix at Monza streams your way live as it happens right here on the iRacing Esports Network. Hello and welcome to another GSRC broadcast and the Sim Experience Countdown to Green. Over the next 15 minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the Plasma Tracks Grand Prix of Monza that will immediately follow as we indeed count down to green. Up in the booth to bring you our World's Eye view, former real-world IndyCar driver Richie Hearn, joined by yours truly, Bill Soupson. Amjad Yaman has director duties armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beard. Richie, Monza feels like a pretty good fit for the Dallara.
Yeah, thank you, Soup, and I believe it does. Here we are at Monza, just outside of Milan, Italy, home of the Italian Grand Prix for the Formula One cars. And I really think this is going to be a good track for the Dallara IR18. We got long, fast straights, some really tricky chicanes, noticeably the first one, and then just after Curva Grande, the second one, where we should see some passing opportunities, but we do have some really long straightaways all the way through the Curva Parabolica to give us some good drafting opportunities. The track is narrow, but very fast. Probably the best way for you folks to see what it's like is to jump on board that GSRC lap guide.
All right, we've got Dan Mueller in the GSRC IR18, so let's do a lap around Monza. Rettifilo offers one of the best chances for a pass with how long the pit straight is. It's very heavy braking into here, but be aware of how the track narrows up into this first chicane. Be careful with how much curb you take and then ease back onto the throttle. With all the slow corners, it'll be embarrassingly easy to spin the car out by mashing the gas. Now we head through Curva Grande, and it's pretty simple. Keep your foot to the floor and hug the inside of the turn. Up next is Della Rosia. This is another good spot for an overtake, but if you overshoot it, you'll wind up with a slowdown penalty for cutting through the paved runoff. The track dips away from you into the gravel trap on the exit, so try not to drift too wide. Then you swing into the first Lesmo. The camber in this corner allows you to carry more speed than you'd expect. It immediately chucks you into the second Lesmo, which is both flatter and sharper. It's critical that you get a good run off of here because it's a very long stretch down into Ascari. This is the quickest of the 3 chicanes. It's perhaps the most punishing too because of those tall black sausage curves at the apexes. You absolutely want to stay off of those. Finally, you come down to Parabolica. It's a hairpin, so you'd think it'd be great for passing, but the braking happened shockingly late, and it's tough to execute an overtake on your way in. Honestly, it's much better to focus on your corner exit because this takes you back onto the front stretch. Try to stay close enough to snag the slipstream, slingshot by, and hopefully you've now finished a lap around Monza.
And there we have a lap around Monza in the Dallara IR18. And as you can see from that video, track's really narrow. It's almost like a street circuit in some sections, but it is very fast. The countdown to green is brought to you by Sim Experience, the team behind the AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive steering systems. By providing unparalleled realism and the most advanced tuning features on the market, the AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer. It can also make for an effective training tool for real-world drivers. For more information on the entire Sim Experience ecosystem, including their GS5 stage series motion systems and SimVibe software, visit simexperience.com. And please use the promo code SimXLion to get 5% off your SimVibe software.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the point standings now. These are presented by the good folks at First Medical Equipment. And there you see that stranglehold mentioned in the intro there. 202 points is what Blocker has over Guerin. And before you start sending in your emails and your text to me, see what condition your condition is in. I had a little Joe Biden moment there. Not position. Soup, you know better than that. Hey, let's pull back the curtain to GSRC a little bit. Now, earlier this week, when our stat boys, Simon and Poindexter, showed me this overlay, they asked me if I wanted them to whip up another points graphic that would take into account the 3 drop races allowed for in the rules. I reminded them that who they work for, it's GSRC, and they quickly just ran out of the office and came back in with this that shows you right here. Because I was expecting this to be more dramatic when we bring this one up. But unfortunately, it really isn't. The gap is still a whopping 150 points from Blocker to Guerin. That's even when you take in the 3 drop races allowed for in the rules. See that 50 points by Blocker's name there by the little droplet? That's his lowest unscored event. So even if you were having a disaster today, you're still going to come away with 50 points. No matter how you shake it, no matter how you look at it, man, Blocker is really in good position. You see Guerin, Kinsella, Goodman, and Weaver rounding out the top 5. Let's go look at the team championship now. Not a single position changed in the top 5. Keep an eye on what 8-Ball Motorsports is doing. They're doing it a man short. That's Goodman and Weaver trying to do it there. They're closing in on Adrenaline Motorsports, the black team of Branch, Showen, and Stouffer. They might be able to get there before the season's out. A good run indeed by that team. All right, let's go ahead and turn it over. One more championship. And, of course, that team championship was brought to you by the good folks at Plasma Tracks. Richie, how about the rookies?
Yeah, we got those Rookie of the Year standings presented by Butt Kicker. And no change in position here for any of these guys. Martinez out in front. Rigney and Hill pretty tight with only 20, 23 points behind. Karam's there in 44. He's missed some races. This is going to go down to the wire. You can see all the way down to 6th place. It's only 61 points. And then we get a little bit of a gap to Sandman there. But we'll keep an eye on this as we go through the season. But I assume this is going to tighten up as we get closer to the end.
Quick peek, I looked to see if Sage was here today. I don't see Karam in this run, so maybe he'll make a late appearance. That's sometimes the case. You know, the best and the best on the iRacing World Championships, as well as many of the top private leagues like the one you're watching right here, right now, are showcased right here on iRacing Esports Network. If you haven't done so yet, make sure that you subscribe. GSRC is proud to be part of the IESN stable of broadcasters. You know, this series is considered the premier fixed setup racing league for the Dallara IR18 on the iRacing service, and the Lionheart IndyCar Series honors the memory of the late Dan Weldon. And Dan would have loved this next segment as we turn it over to Professor Lugnut's setup corner. Professor, what are you talking about today?
Dieter, come over here. Springsteen, I really thought Springsteen drew on many of his musical if it was Springsteen. Oh, Soup Springs. We're talking about Springs. That's right, Springs, yes.
Very different from
the
Springsteen.
Right. It is, isn't it? That's right. Did you know the IndyCar has springs? Well, yeah, of course it does, yeah. Springs just like the ones you have on your car in the driveway. Well, kind of. Now, the 4 of those springs work independently from each other on the car, and the teams can adjust how hard or how soft those springs can actually be. Why is that important? Well, now on a race car, you might not be looking to get it to ride like a Cadillac, as they say, but what you are trying to do is keep that car level on the track surface, because with the aerodynamics of the car, it's creating about well over 50,000 pounds of force, Soup, and it makes things really crazy with that car. It's important for the engineers to get the spring rate dialed in to each one of those 4 springs so the driver and the car can achieve maximum downforce in the corners and maximum speed on the straights. That's about everything you need to know about those springs.
Maximum speed is good. Crackers and the Professor and Richie and I have been doing this Lionheart series for a long time. It feels good to be back after the long layoff. Some of you may be joining us for the first time. So with you guys in mind, we're going to turn it over to Richie. He's going to tell you about the series detail.
And these series details come to us thanks to Minus 273, the premier name in karting gloves. For more information on Minus 273's full line of gloves and apparel, visit www.minus273.biz. Use promo code LHRS for 25% all your orders. And here we are for Season 7 of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. We're round 14 of 24 with those 3 driver drops, as you see. We are using the Dallar IR18. The setups are fixed, but they are adjusted to make the cars a little more raceable. And we're working on cash and prizes totaling $9,652.
As we take that graphic away, we get a good onboard view of what it is like here at Monza. Look at that beautiful sky pushing down here on this Italian countryside. What's our weather look like?
Well,
there we go.
The weather up.
Ooh. That's
Wow.
egg frying temperature there, Richie.
Yeah, that is hot, man. 110 track temp. That's really the number you want to look at. A little bit of wind, but boy, tires are going to be hurting as they get through this race here. So we'll kind of keep an eye on how long they're running. They usually tell us how long they can run, but they're never always truthful. So we'll see how that plays out as we get through the race.
I think we're looking at a pretty tight window here today. We're looking at a 2-stopper. It's maybe a 3-stopper if things really go badly. We're riding on board with Dandy Dan Guerin, the defending champion here at Monza, racing in his Synergy Motorsports East team.
Yeah, right now, David Martinez, our Rookie of the Year's leader, sitting on top, just ahead of our overall points leader, Adam Blocker. So nice lap by him so far.
This is good. You want to be out front here because one of probably your biggest concern is that very first chicane. When we get rolling down in there, they'll get bunched up, and that is what they call retafilio.
Yeah, well, there's a huge run right up to that chicane there as well. So they're going to have a big head of steam. And, the top 2 rows, good, but I think anywhere in that, 7th through 15th spot are really going to be in trouble. If you're starting far enough back, you can kind of back off a little bit. But those guys in the middle, you can't. So hopefully we can get everybody through and keep the full field going, at least for lap 1.
Hopefully these guys will show a little more patience than what I saw from some of the real-world drivers at Pocono this weekend. See if we can get lap 1 in safely. Martinez up on front. There is Havakech Kinsella. Way down the order in 14th.
Yeah, that's in the danger zone right in that area because you can't lift too much and you have to just go right in and hope for the best. And they also have those big sausage curbs, so even if you hit those and you have to cut the chicane, you're going to get some damage on that front wing too.
Big name I see at the back, Connor Harrington. He did not put in a qualifying time. Let's go to the grid right now. We'll take it a row at a time. Damon Martinez and Adam Blocker sit on the front row. Richie?
Starting third, Dustin Wardlow. Right next to him, Brian Carey.
Michael Goodman and Brian Yosick for row 3.
7th position is going to be Justin Weaver. Next to him will be Dan Guerin.
Row 5 is populated by Tyler Graff and Stefan Larkamp.
Starting 11th, Brian Beard. Starting 12th, James Brandt.
The Baker dozen position, it is our Bakersfield boy, Jason Galvin. He's going to be inside of Andrew Havakech Kinsella.
15th spot goes to Chris Lanini, and right next to him will be Scott Bolster.
Big Joe Hassard sits in the 17th position. He's going to be flanked by Chris Stouffer.
Bobby Micus, 19th. Starting 20th would be Isaiah Dupree.
Hidden Blackjack, Ron Hacker, the double duck spot, John Hill.
23rd is going to be Joe Branch. Next to him will be Joe Flanagan.
Quarter century mark belongs to Bart Workman with Scotty Johnson outside.
27th is Tony Schoen. And next to him will be Connor Harrington.
Then you got Paul Jenkins and Brandon Limpkeman in row 15.
Right behind them will be Mike Rigney, and starting behind him will be Ken Hacker.
And then our final driver out there in the 30, I think, Brian, it's not easy being Greenlee, 33rd position for him. There we have it. 33 drivers entered, 26 were able to put in qualifying times. Keep an eye on Connor Harrington if he actually does grid up. He should be fun to watch. They're talking right now as they start to sit on the back straight looking at the final chicane. Go ahead, Rick.
I was just going to say, those guys in the back, real easy to get that 1X here, just dropping a wheel here and there. So a lot of it's just not getting a clean lap in. And they got some work to do. But if you start that far back, sometimes it's a little easier. As we talked about, the midfield group, they're kind of going to hope for the best.
They begin to roll. Let's talk about our onboard cameras today. We got Dan Guerin with one in the number 8 in the Plasma Tracks onboard camera, original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophies, home decor, and motorsports fabrication. Plasma-tracks.com. Use the promo code LRS 2018 to get 25% off your orders. They head down to Parabolica. Use this promo code for SimXL Lion to get 5% off your SimVive software at simexperience.com. And then, good to have these guys back. Mike Rickme in the Guys, Games, and Beer onboard camera. Join the Gutter Geeks every week as their panel of veteran gamers talk about the latest and oldest in video and tabletop gaming. For more information, guysgamesandbeers.net. With that done, all the paperwork is out of the way. The field heads down into Parabolica, and the control of the field is turned over to one of our top rookies, Damon Martinez. Let's see what happens. They're coming out as we work lap number 1 here on round 14. Damon holds him up. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. A great jump from Damon Martinez. He takes off like a hairpiece in a hurricane. My goodness, look at the gap he has to blocker. Now the rest of the field files into the first chicane. Wardlow in 3rd. Carey in 4th. Yazik. They go too wide on. We got the pile up. And it's a gray car. Is that? It was, sure enough, Andrew Kinsella. And we have a rare solar eclipse. They threw a caution. Richard, you talked about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's inevitable, pretty much. It looks like Andrew Kinsella was caught in there. I'm watching him right now. He's got some damage to the rear of his car.
It was Brian Beard that got into him. Then they all just started to pile up behind that.
Big Joe's got some damage. So I think we're going to see some people come into the pits. But, yeah, I mean, it's inevitable. It's such a long run. It's wide, and there you go. There's the replay. Like
could have been worse.
Yeah, could have been worse. We do have some damaged cars. Here we go on board with Big Joe. And you kind of see it all kind of serpentines in, and there's just nowhere for anybody to go. Just stop. Hopefully you don't hit anybody. But not terrible. We still have, I think, everybody running. And we're going to re-rack them and let these guys get in the pits to fix those cars.
You know what's interesting? When we went through the grid, we were talking about, you said it, you said Andrew Kinsella is right in it. And sure enough, that's right smack down in the middle where everything starts to check up. So this is a rarity. There are live stewards here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. We don't usually see a yellow flag on a road course, but we got one today.
Yeah, I think this is only the second time I've seen one on a road course, and this will allow them to kind of do basically, I believe they'll do a single file restart, I think.
Yeah. And all that's calculations. We talked about being a really tight window. Well, that's not going to matter right now. While they're under yellow, why don't we take a look at the race analysis, see exactly what's going on. It was Brian Beard coming in to make that stop. We saw Beard get into the back of Kinsella on lap 1. There's our distance going 35 laps. Now look at that maximum fuel stint there. That's 12, 24, 36. It's a 2-stop race. Cut it into 3 equal parts. With this yellow flag, they'll go a little farther. Then you see the penalty points there that they pick up.
Yeah, this yellow flag will definitely open up that window a little bit, so that might be part of it. They knew it was tight. If there was an option like this, they can throw it and open up that window so people aren't stretching it right to the limit running out of gas.
So who did come in? Well, it looks like Brian Beard. We saw him make a stop. Ken Hacker. Interesting enough, Kinsella did not.
No. Yeah, Kinsella did not, but he's got some damage on that rear wing, so I'm surprised he might not know. This is a fast track, so that might hurt his straight line speed.
Let's put a final page on the Connor Harrington chapter. Looks like Connor did not make the grid here today, so we have 32 cars entered into the event. And our leader, Damon Martinez. Boy, did he get a good jump. Honestly, I think Adam Blocker was happy just to sit behind him, didn't want to force the issue on that first lap. Pace car now pulls down into the final chicane, this little, we call it 8, 9, 10. It's a little left, right, left double chicane. One of my favorites on the iRacing service.
Yeah, it looks like the lights are still on the pace car, so we might be going around one more time.
Well, we were hoping we'd get a nice clean lap 1 in, but that didn't work. Richie, I know you're busy. Did you happen to have time to see the Pocono race in the IndyCar this weekend?
Yeah, I watched it. Got my own opinions about what happened. But, yeah, it's unfortunate. I think, Pocono gets a bad rap. I mean, I think there's things that they can do to make it a little safer, make the wall a little higher. But at the same time, the drivers need to drive a little smarter, especially on lap 1.
Yeah, one of my favorite drivers involved in that one. And it was hard for me to make a case for what went on out there. But sometimes that happens. As Beard will attest to right now. He tried his very best to stay off the back of Andrew Kinsella. All right, they roll around, and the pace car will go around one more time. It'll pull in next time. You know what? Why don't we take this opportunity to talk about one of my favorite sponsors? And of course, I'm told that all of our sponsors are our favorites, and yes, they are. I love them all equally. They're like my children. But I have to admit, when these guys come to visit, it makes me happy. And I'm talking about the Gutter Geeks, the guys at guysgamesandbeers.net. They're on board with one of our onboard cameras today. Join the Gutter Geeks every week as their panel of veteran gamers talk about the latest and oldest in video and tabletop gaming. Whether it's interviews with indie and established developers, or deep dives into classic hardware, or just sitting around the table talking games while throwing back a few brews. You're sure to have a great time with the gang from Guys, Games, and Beers. For more information, visit, guysgamesandbeers.net. Hey, we got some more stops.
Yeah, I did see Andrew Kinsella did come in that time and fix his car. So he was looking probably just to get one more lap on that fuel. About 4 or 5 guys came in at that last lap of yellow.
There's all the guys who made stops. We talked about Beard and Hill. Beard made his pit early on that very first one, as did Paul Jenkins. And Then you can see the other guys came in second time around. Kinsella probably figured out, yeah, this is going to work for me. Let's go ahead before we get bit by any more bad luck. Why don't we take a look at our spotlighted driver here today? That's going to be fan favorite Tyler Graff. We'll bring that up for you. He's out there right now. And you'll see all the stats there for Tyler. You can see his career starts all the way down. A couple things that are interesting down there. Now, we talk about him. He's notorious for like taking what I consider a 12th place car and getting an 8th place finish. The numbers would not really prove that to be true. This is some interesting numbers as we dive deep into this. His average starting position is 17th. His average finishing position is 17th. So all that talk about him able to pick up from where he grids, maybe not truly the case when you look at it for real. He has traveled 6,033 miles on the Lionheart IndyCar race. That's about a quarter of the way around the globe if you could drive the equator. Now you see them work out of that final chicane and this good passing zone here, right, Richie, down into Parabolic. He can make this work.
Yeah, definitely a good passing zone. And if you can't, you just set them up because out of the Parabolica, the run to turn one is even longer. So some good drafting opportunities here. Just got to get through those chicanes cleanly.
Paul Jenkins is one lap down. I believe everybody else was able to stay on the lead lap. All right, Damon Martinez had a great start, and that's when he was in 2x2 position with Adam Blocker next to him. Right now, he'll have it all to himself. On the start, he was really, really late getting going. Let's see if he starts him off a little bit earlier right now. Out of Parabolica, he waits, he still waits. Oh, they start to gather up behind him. When is he gonna go? Gather up the chickens, take cover on the cows. The horses are out of the barn. And Damon Martinez gets a great jump. Blocker right behind him. All right, here they come. Single file down into the first chicane. It looks, boy, they are really spread out up front. This should be easy. Everybody in a beautiful single file line. Here they come. It's Paz. The accordion effect takes effect. First cars are too wide. It's Galvin on the inside. He's able to work around. That was James Brandt. They go too wide. Everybody else makes it through the chicane, okay? We're racing. Nope, we got a spinner trying to get the power down. Christopher, not going to be a problem, but he gets it going. He's going to lose all sorts of positions. He'll be last in line.
Yeah, we got through that area nice and clean. That single file restart's going to help. Now we can get racing. Got a nice little battle with Adam Blocker and Dustin Wardlow. Damon Martinez has gapped Adam just enough, but Dustin Wardlow is looking to get by Adam, and Adam's going to hold on to that position at the moment.
Damon Martinez out there. He has been an impressive rookie. He sits at the top of the rookie standings right now, and he is in front of the man who has dominated this season, Adam Blocker. Martinez continues to open up now, about 6 car lengths on Blocker. Wardlow, Carey, and Yasek round out your top 5. Good to see Brian Carey racing up so far up.
We got Dan Guerin looking to make a move on Michael Goodman as they go into the Parabolica right there on your screen. It's got the inside line, but it is a nice long run. We also got, looks like Justin Weaver trying to make a move as well. And here they are, they're fanning out, going down that front straightaway to complete lap 1.
That's the Moby Dickey's machine on the inside of Goodman. The New York driver gives Moby Dickey's a little room. Weaver gets that spot. Goodman also has a bad exit out of the chicane. Larkamp in a battle with Bolster right now. There's a battle back for 9th position as we ride on board with Guerin, looking back at the guys that are chasing him.
Yeah, up front, Adam Blocker's got right back to the rear bumper of, or rear wing, and he's going to look to
Let's go to the lead.
Yep, looking to make a move going into Curva Grande 1, or the Lesmo 1, and coming into Lesmo 2. These 3 are tight going into these corners. Little mistake by Adam Blocker is going to leave the door open for Dustin Wardlow. They're side by side. They're about to go dip down, and they're going to go under the old oval right there. Here it comes.
But a tip of the hat to Martinez. Blocker had a nose inside of Martinez, the rookie. gave the points leader room. Blocker wasn't able to finish the pass. In fact, he lost a lot of momentum. I thought that the Candyman was going to get up there. Dustin Wardlow was going to get that one, but he did not.
You're really better off just setting up the pass coming out of the corner they're at now. Just, because that run to turn one is so long that if you make the pass, you're probably going to get passed back. So Adam Blocker's kind of doing that. He's right in the draft. Damon's going to make him go around the outside into that first chicane to see if he can do it. Nope, he's going to let him go.
You see the fans holding up a big D and then a picket fence right there? That was some defensive driving by Damon Martinez. He took that tight inside line there on track right. No room for Blocker to go. Blocker all over the back of him right now. He tried it here last time. This time he'll go to the outside through here. This is not the direction he went last time. Not going to work.
You can see though. You can also see though, as Damon's driving those defensive lines, he's bringing Wardlow, Carey, and Yazik into the battle. So we pretty much have the first 5 all tight running for that lead.
Oh, there are no bigger fans of Damon Martinez right now than Dustin Wardlow, Brian Carey, and Brian Yazik. You got to worry if Blocker gets to the inside and makes this pass. If he's able to get around him, it might be all she wrote. Martinez, as they go through Ascari now, this is another opportunity for Blocker. He's about 3 car lengths back. Again, a defensive line. Let's watch the leader. Is he going to stay in there? Will he drift over? Move to the outside. Watch out for the momentum. If Blocker can make the Y side work, he'll really get a drive off of here, Richie.
Yeah, that's the way you want to exit that corner, is on the wide side. Keeps that momentum up. And now Adam Blockers, he's already side by side with them, and they're not even halfway down the straightaway. He might be able to complete this pass before they even get to the braking zone. Man, not quite there, and he's just going to let him go. I know Adam Blockers, he's just going to keep playing with him a little bit, but what he has to worry about is Dustin Wardlow trying to sneak in on him. Dan Guerin, I'm sure he's happy to see this happening. He's got to get up there and get in front of Adam if he has any chance of winning this championship.
Boy, Martinez is racing for all he's worth. He has that great qualifying run in, but man, it's cost him right now. He might be fast in qualifying, but Adam Blocker, that car is ready to go racing. There are other drivers to watch. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, Damon's doing a good job. He's under a lot of pressure, and he's not making any mistakes, so more power to him. He's earned that spot, and he's holding on to it really well.
Just wanted to let you know, we know there are other drivers in the race, but right now the action up front is so good. We're going to stay on this a little bit as we drive with the right driver in third. Again, Blocker just pestering Martinez like a little sister. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Mom, Adam's breathing on me. That's what's going on right now. As Damon Martinez really under pressure. They head down into Parabolica, working lap number 7.
It's going to be interesting to see as they get closer to the end of the run how the cars handle with that high track temp. Although it looks like it's come down a couple of degrees since we started the race, but still, we're going to see how that tire wear affects some of these guys. And here comes Adam again, trying to make that move on the outside.
Little braking contest, but what it does is this forces Martinez to take a horrible line in. How about a tip of the hat to Dustin Wardlow, who almost got into the back of Blocker, knew just how long his car was, stays off the gearbox with that blue car in second. Blocker looking left, Blocker looking right, going back and forth like the eyes on a cat clock. Can't get the pass made as they go into Rogia. We got a big crash with Chris Lanini. I'm not sure if we're going to see this one. Chris Lanini is on his lid and goes for a ride. Whee! Oh, you know what? It starts, believe it or not, I think it starts with Scott Bolster. If we can find... It was on their lap 7. Here we go. We're going to find it. Now watch the car in front of Lanini here. If we can find Bolster, actually, that's the interesting one. Bolster just kind of goes. It's on the main straight. Well, there's a bump. That's not the one. Let's see if we can find it here. It's going to be coming up here. Let's stay with it for a while because this is fun. All right, there we go. That's the issue. Actually, it's worse than this. was, yeah.
It looks like he just got a little loose getting the power down, and the other people behind him took the heat.
Live, and actually there was another incident as well. He ends up on his lid. Meanwhile, up front, it's the same maneuver going on as Martinez defends Blocker, who makes another stab at him.
Yeah, that time Blocker was almost completely clear of him. I would think if we were closer to the end of the race, he would just really muscle his way through that first chicane, but he's trying to play nice, keep his car in line, and really just try to pressure Damon into a mistake, which he has not done yet, so very good on him. But these 5 right here are all stacked up. Dan Guerin, unfortunately, has not been able to close up that gap, but if anything happens up front, he'll be right there.
So many times this season, the front has been a runaway, and we've spent most of our time watching mid-packers race. It's a nice little change to focus our attention up front here. Now, this is interesting. We are on lap number 9. The pit window would have been at 12, but then we had those yellow flag laps, so they can probably maybe go to 14 or 15.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. About 14 to 15 is probably going to be where you'll see these guys pit. Did about 3 laps under yellow. You can save, usually it's about 2 laps for every 1 yellow, roughly, lap and a half.
You got to wonder if you're Blocker, if the idea of coming in when the window opens up and doing the undercut, the problem is you'll be stuck in traffic, but you're clearly faster than the car in front of you. Boy, what a run this time. Let's see if he closes the deal. He's got a lot of momentum. He's now a full car lead. He is ahead. He can finish this one if he wants it. He does not force the issue, which means they'll go side by side through the chicane. That's not what Blocker wanted.
Yeah, wow. I would have thought that Adam, he had that clear, so he kind of gave him a little bit more room than I thought he was going to give and wasn't able to complete the pass. So good job to both those guys. Just really good on the brakes. Nobody hitting each other, but man, keeps it tight.
Not sure the reason behind this, but Jason Galvin has been assessed a drive-through penalty in the number 42 car, so he'll have to serve that one. And actually, he's going to take a stop. I guess that's a way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. All right, well, Blocker make the move. Let's quickly talk about the back half of your top 10 if we can, if the guys up front. We may cut away. Dan Guerin all by himself in 6th position. We saw Justin Weaver make a pass. He's sitting in 7th right now. Our spotlighted driver, Tyler Groff, up a spot in 8th. Larkamp by himself in 9th. And how about Isaiah Dupree? Up 10 spots. How about a kiss for your cousin Dupree? Well to go. Way to go, Isaiah. Up front here, we have it one more time as we ride on board with our drone cam. The blue car is Blocker. The light car on the inside is Martinez. It's deja vu all over again as Blocker's on the outside does not force the issue.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little nervous for this because he's trying every lap. And the problem is going to be, does Dustin Wardlow end up getting in the back of Adam? So we'll see what happens as they get closer to the pit stops. Go ahead.
I agree. No, Wardlow has done a really good job of staying out of Blocker's gearbox, but it has been close. As we watch this again, it's actually Blocker gets in more trouble the better run he has. If he's side by side with Martinez going into the first chicane, he backs out. But when he has that lead, that's when he ends up backing out. They go through side by side. They work lap number 11.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to note that Michael Goodman, who started 5th, he's last car in the lead lap, so he definitely came into the pit. So he might have had a little bit of damage, and that's why he was getting passed early on. We didn't cover that pit stop, but he is in 28th position. Yep, there you go. Yep. So he's had some issues.
Well, he should be in the window, though, we think, with that yellow flag. It'll be tight from here on out for him, but he should be able to get there. All right, let's go back up front again. Does Blocker force the issue here on lap number 12? He's got the run. He moves to the outside. And this time he's just going to be out there making it a little bit easier for Damon Martinez, the rookie. You saw that points overlay that Simon and Poindexter were kind enough to do for you, the viewers, seeing here for the first time on the Global SimRacing Channel. The 50 points, what I like to call pocket points, and that's what Adam Blocker has in there. If things go south, it really wouldn't be a horrible move. Look at this now as he starts to put a little pressure on as they go into De La Roggia.
That chicane for me is probably one of the toughest because it's really hard to see where your braking markers are, and it's tighter than it looks, and they got some huge curbs there, so it's really tough to get slowed down enough for that corner.
I tell you, Damon Martinez is cool as the other side of the pillow, man. He has been under pressure from Blocker, but he has done a great job. Blocker has tried in many different places. We've seen him try it into Parabolica. We've seen him try it down into Retifilia. We've seen him try it into De La Roggia. He's tried it on the outside of the Lesbos. All right, Martinez taking his half out of the middle. You got to start to think that the Candyman, you said Dustin Wardle, is going to make a move here pretty soon. Oh, my goodness. Blocker is closer than he's been in a long time, but not much of a slingshot. But this goes on. Oh, Isaiah Dupree did just happen. He was having such a good run. This looks like a self-mistake, and the car bites. And oh my goodness, that is the Bob Mikas and the Von Hansen meat machine.
Oh, yeah, that's too bad. He had nowhere to go and kind of clipped Isaiah Dupree there, sent him out into the weeds. Here we are on board. And yeah, there he goes. Wow. All the way
nice
around.
Barrel roll.
Yeah, back on the front tires. Yeah, unfortunately, just one of those things.
So there is good racing going on. Hack in the back, and we see it. And as soon as these guys settle down, I'm pretty soon when we get to the pit stops, that's going to settle things down a little bit here.
Yeah, we are coming up to finish lap 13 to start lap 14. So I think between now and maybe the end of lap 15 is where we should start seeing these guys come in. You know, Adam might want to come in a little earlier, get some fresh tires, put in some fast laps, and try to jump them here.
Oh, look at this. The opposite.
Around.
Damon Martinez, unless you're out of fuel, I question this, because now Adam Blocker, well, they're all coming. So maybe it was not a choice that Martinez had.
Yeah, they're all choosing to pit on the lap 14. Adam's going to go another lap at least. This is where he's got to put the hammer down and try to get just a little faster, and he can hopefully jump him on those pit stops.
Okay, Richie, what's faster? A light car on tires that are 14 laps old, or a heavier car full of fuel with cold tires coming out of the pits? Who's going to be faster?
I think, having those hot tires sometimes helps. It really depends on Damon. It's that outlap is so important, but it is hard with those cold tires and traffic. If Adam's got clear lap, he can put the power down. He's kind of shown that I think he's a little bit faster. You just got to put one clean lap in and come in cleanly.
Well, sure enough, Martinez does come out in front of Wardlow. So he is the leader of all the cars who have pitted. Now, let's see if Blocker's going to come in this time. If Blocker can go one more lap, that would really be to his advantage. Don't know if he's got that in him.
Yeah, it'll be a big advantage at the end because that's what you're waiting for is that fuel to fill up. So we'll see if he comes in here. And looks like he is. He's coming in.
Okay, now the leader of all the cars who have pitted is Brian Carey, but no, that's not correct.
No, Brian Carey followed him in. So it's going to be Damon Martinez pretty much. So we'll kind of have to keep an eye on. Right now, he's coming down the back straightaway, heading towards the Parabolica. Blocker's just getting into his stall right now.
Martinez had a really good stop. Now, another thing that Martinez can do, he doesn't need to fill it up all the way. Blocker is rolling.
There
goes James Brackbot.
He's gonna beat him. He's coming out of the pits right now. And it looks like he's going to get him. Oh, no. Here we go. Side by side.
They touch.
Oh.
Little bit of contact.
I don't know if there's contact, but Adam that time wasn't so nice. That was his opportunity to get in front. Now we'll see if he can pull away. Now he's got cold tires. So Damon's got the... Oh, he's going to go right by him.
He got him.
Yeah,
one lap warmer tires, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he just needed to be a little bit farther ahead. He'll probably try it again, but we're right back to where we started.
Now, like I said, with the window being a little wider now, it's not necessary that they filled it up all the way. It's possible that Martinez maybe came out without the tank all the way full, which means he'll have to take a little bit more the next time. But as
their pit stops were pretty much the same. Actually, yeah, you're right. Damon Martinez's stop was about 0.3 quicker, so he might have short filled it a little bit, and that's what helped him keep the lead.
0.3 was important when you needed that little bit. So Wardlow comes out in third ahead of Brian Carey. And sure enough, the front five, which was so close, is now spread out a little bit. Dan Guerin is up into fifth. Has Guerin made a stop? Yeah, good stop from Guerin. He picks up a few positions. Brian Yazik had a 23-second stop. Not sure that feels like 23 and 8, or 8 and 15 sounds like 23. That feels like a speeding penalty. Look at this. And look at the momentum now. He's on. He's going to have the inside position here.
He's got the inside line this time. Damon didn't make him go to the outside, so Adams now got the position.
Good
Let's
run.
see if he's got... Oh, wow. He just opened the door. He opened the door, let him right back in.
Yeah, the tight line through De La Rosa cost Blocker a little bit of exit speed. Wow, what good racing.
Open the door.
I like the racing, but I just got a hunch they cannot keep doing this. Oh, there it is! And Blocker does an amazing job of incident avoidance. Oh! We'll look at it from above. I think Blocker got through clean.
So close for Adam Blocker, and Damon just gets on the gas a little too hard, spins it up, and man, Adam couldn't got it any closer than that. I don't know if we have a nose cam for that, but that was as close as you can get.
And
go ahead.
That was James Brandt, the car that was in 25th there that almost gets into it at the end. The spin, he goes around and then Brandt blows it up. He's back out there though.
Yeah, I mean, Damon didn't hit anything, so he's going again. He's lost, obviously, some positioning. There's that nose cam or that right off the suspension. Wow, that was as close as you can get, really. Adam just kind of probably crapped his pants for a second, but he is going.
He was able to miss the car and then have the car out in the sand, able to keep the car going straight. That's how you win yourself a championship.
And now he's got a 2-second gap on Dustin Wardlow. Damon Martinez is back in 5th spot, but he's got a fast car, so I'm going to assume he's going to try to get it back up there.
All right, well, this will give us finally an opportunity to move back into the field. Let's see if we can find ourselves a battle. How about 10th position? This is Chris Stouffer, and I've been wanting to talk about Bart Workman all race, but I just haven't been able to get there. Up 15 spots. Stouffer in front in 10th. Workman behind him. Workman with about a half-second lead on Brian Beard. Beard, how about a recovery from him? He had that lap 1 incident.
Yeah, Bart Workman and Brian Beard on the same team going nose to tail. Yeah, great job by Workman, 25th to 11th. So he's had a good run so far. That was not done just by attrition. He's had to earn some of those spots. Let's give a shout out to Michael Goodman as well. Started 5th, had some issues, and he's worked his way back up to 15th. So hopefully he's fixed his car a little bit. It looks like it's a little cleaner than it was. And looking to kind of get back up into that top 5, hopefully.
Got about 1.5 seconds back to Brian Greenlee.
In the car in front of him, John Hill just. Okay,
Paul Jenkins.
That's a lap car. Down. Yeah. Got it. Lap car sent it out into the beach.
No problem for Michael Goodman. That's just a typical New York driver that he's used to getting around. Let's go back and look at this battle here for 20th position. This is Brandon Linkemann being chased by Joe Flanagan. Up 9 positions for Linkemann. Just a handful from Flanagan. But Flanagan with a bit of a run. Let's see if he wants to do anything here. Down into the first chicane. Nope. Flanagan in the blue car will wait. Nobody wants to suffer the wrath of the commentators here today. Very, very conservative driving into these chicanes. A lot of braking. Let's look at 3rd position. Now this is Kerry ahead of Guerin, but also coming is Damon Martinez. That car still looks good.
Nothing to go to, but Brian Greenlee just sent it off the track in the first Lesmo, and a couple guys got by him. Was able to keep going.
He's having a good race too. He started in 32nd position and cut that in half. This is a fun one to look at right here now. If you're a poker player, when I say that Damon Martinez might be on tilt, you know what I mean here. See if he can. He's seeing the red mist. Great run from Brian Carey. A rookie. So you got a rookie, and you got Damon Martinez, a rookie. 2 rookies sandwiching a veteran of Dandy Dan Guerin.
Yeah, I mean, Dan's got Brian Carey trying to get around, but he's got to worry about Damon Martinez right behind him.
Michael Goodman makes a stop. Boy, you got to worry if he's going to be able to get there from here.
He's going to have to do 3 stops.
Yeah, okay.
He's not going to be able to make it from here. So he must have come in, had some damage repaired. Looks like he came in just a real quick stop and go. But yeah, he's going to have to make another lap. Another stop. As you can see, Adam Blocker's just set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:31.2.
That is Goodman there on screen left, just coming out of pit lane. Lets all the lead lap cars go by. And we got ourselves a nice battle here now. Wardlow in 2nd, Carey in 3rd, Guerin in 4th, Martinez in 5th, and in the hunt, our spotlighted driver, Tyler Groff. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, all within 3 seconds of each other.
Yeah, that battle's really good. Adam Blocker's kind of set off into the distance. He's up almost 4 seconds up on 2nd place, but these guys are battling hard. Ryan Yazik trying to come back from his bad pit stop or a penalty, whatever he had.
Yeah, behind these guys, Larkamp races all by himself in 7th, and you see Yazik in 8th. He's got about 7 seconds to get up to the Pennsylvania driver of Stephen Larkamp.
We do have some guys that have made some good runs. We've mentioned them already, some of them, but you know, John Hill, 22nd to 14th, nicely done. Ron Hacker, 21st to 13th. All these guys, Brian Greenlee, Tony Schoen, Scotty Johnson, all in that 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th area. Really doing a good job starting way back in the field and able to run cleanly and get up into that top 20 area.
Back in 17th. Oh, no, he's losing it. That is Scotty Johnson.
Yeah, he had just made the pass on Tony Schoen and then just lost it coming out of that 2nd chicane, trying to get on the power. There he comes. This thing's really tight here. And you do have those curves, but you just try to get on the gas and the thing just came around on him. Doesn't look like he hit anything, maybe just slightly. He's able to keep going, but, you know, lost that position.
A little bit of the nose there, we'll see, but Yeah, sometimes you take that strange racing line and you lose your rhythm. So Scotty Johnson, who started in 26th and worked his way up to 18th, has now fallen back to 21st. A tight battle for second, that's calmed down a little bit.
Surprisingly, Andrew Kinsella, who's running 21st, started 14th, obviously got caught in that first turn wreck. He has not been able to make much move. He's up to 19th at the moment, but hasn't moved up quite as fast as I thought. I mean, he really, he qualified 14th, so he just doesn't have the speed today like he normally does.
Adam Blocker, the lap before this one, fastest lap, and then the last
he's
lap.
He's going faster than what he qualified too. He qualified at a 31.1. He just did a 31.0, so he is just dumping the field. He let those guys have some fun, and once Damon made the mistake, he just said, all right, later. I'm going to stretch this out to 5 seconds now.
Let's look at third. Wardlow's pulled away a bit in second position, but here comes oh my goodness, as Martinez has a little bit of
he had a real close one there to losing it again. You saw the same thing I saw.
Let's take another look. We'll see this on a replay. This is looked like the second chicane. Took my breath away here.
Yeah, he comes in hot. Look at those hands, back and forth, able to keep it going, but wow, that was close.
So he loses a little bit of touch with the battle going on in front. Kerry in third, Guerin in fourth. That settles down a bit.
I think Damon's got a pretty quick car. He just needs to kind of settle down into a rhythm, stay with this group, maybe try to jump him in the pit stops, and get himself at least back up to second spot.
Try to scroll through and look for a driver. Let's go to 10th real quick. I think this guy may be on the move. I'm talking about Brian Beard. I think he's able to run down Chris Stouffer. In fact, maybe can we do one of our little lap comparisons here between Stouffer and Beard and see if I'm right on this one, if Stouffer has been able to gobble him up. This looks like about even, doesn't it? Yeah. We'll look at it one more time as they come across here. Beard's got a good run. Looks like he's coming. Brian, remember, had qualified in 11th, had that early spin on lap number 1. And now he's a car length back.
Got an early taker for the second stop here. Bart Workman's in the pits.
Lap 23.
That's about right in the window, right? 12 laps?
12? Yeah. He'll have to go 12, won't he? Yeah, 13, I guess, to get there.
Yeah. I think Adam Block.
All right, we're going to look here at one of the cars still on the lead lap. This is Mike Rigney. Scotty Johnson, who we saw have his issues earlier, he's got it back going in the right direction. We would expect Johnson to make this pass, assuming his car is feeling okay, and sure enough, tucks it down in there. Rigney lets it go. Graf makes a stop.
Yeah, if I was like Damon Martinez, this is where I probably would stop a lap earlier and try to put that fast lap in and jump these guys.
And there's a pass for position.
Did get past Guerin just now, so fortunately Dan's he's running well, but with Adam Blocker running away in the distance, not helping his championship any bit.
We'll take a look at this pass. Mistake from the guy in front. Danny Dan lost a little momentum. While that was going on, I can report, we don't need to go there, but Jason Galvin and Joe Flanagan got together. Their cars made contact. I think Flanagan took a pit stop. Not sure if Galvin is still out there racing or not. Jason Galvin. Yeah, he's still out there.
And looks like our leader's coming in. Nope. No, he's not. I thought he was. Changed his mind. Looks like everybody's staying out up front. Top 6 so far. Yep. Nobody's coming in, so we're working lap 25. So obviously those yellow flag laps really help that out. They're probably not going to need the full amount of fuel for the end.
Michael Goodman. Goodman comes in a lap down. The first of our lead lap cars coming in is Brian Yazik. Should be well within the window. There's the familiar blue and yellow machine of Yazik. His HPP-sponsored vehicle.
I believe, isn't that, I believe that's Michael Goodman's 3rd stop.
Yep. That's, so now he's good to go, but it's not been the race that he wanted.
No, not starting 5th, lap down. See if he can get some points out of it, but it's not what he expected for sure.
We talked about Brian Beard trying to pick up a few positions. He's making his stop. He'll be good to go from here. Good recovery from Brian. There's Jason Galvin. We talked about him getting in contact with Flanagan, and he's bringing it back out. Galvin, several laps down. Multiple laps down. Leader goes around one more time.
Yeah. Okay, here comes Dustin Wardlow. Here comes Damon Martinez. All these guys coming in. So, this looks like Dan almost got together in the pit lane. I don't see any damage on Garen's car, but he, man, they were tight. So Dan's coming in a little hotter than he was.
Yeah, Rigney Rigney's a lap down. He slowed up way early, maybe trying to get out of the way of Garen, and Garen didn't know whether to wait or to go around him. He did go around him. I think we're okay. Report that Brian Carey stayed out along with Blocker now. Who gets out first out of all the cars there who made that stop? Looks like it is Wardlow. No, or is it? Yes, Dustin Wardlow. Wardlow, Martinez now. Garen and Groff still in the mix.
Yeah, Brian
These guys
Carey,
will not
job.
Yeah. Well, they're not going to be able to get Martinez, but Carey was right in there with him. So Carey's out there running hot laps. He still needs to make his final stop.
Yeah, hit him at a blocker. Probably will be coming in this lap. But it's a chance for Carey to jump a couple of these guys. If he can get in fast and, most importantly, get up to speed quickly. I think that is where we're seeing the difference, is who can get on the throttle and get those tires up to speed. Oh, what's going on there? Adam Blocker trying to get in the pit lane and no room.
The leader gets it sorted out. Carey does come in.
And
so
both
Blocker
these guys...
Go ahead.
We should note that they're going to need just a little bit less fuel, too, so that might make some difference.
Wardlow heading down into the Parabolica right now. Carey waits to get the permission to go. Wardlow out of Parabolica. Carey rolls.
And there he goes.
Wardlow gets him. Now, will Martinez get him? Comes Martinez, and Martinez is going to get him as well.
Oh, yeah. He's got him because he's on the hot tires as well. Ooh, really close with Brian Carey right behind him. He almost made some contact. But Damon Martinez is going to jump that spot.
Dan Garen is in 5th position behind Carey, who just made his stop. With Tyler Groff in 6th, our spotlighted driver. I saw a note in the commentators' notes from the series organizers that Adam Blocker had a record 52-second victory last time out. Not sure how that relates, whether that was a track record or an overall road course record.
No, I think it was.
Not going to do it.
I think it was just an overall record from just the biggest gap in the series history.
Not going to get that today. It's only 3.6, but he has says ciao to the rest of the field. Let's stay on blocker here for a minute, as he's coming up behind his teammate, Andrew Kinsella. This is really not how these guys expected to be racing each other on the track, as he's about to have a catch a lap down. Or maybe not. Maybe with a 4-second gap, and have a catch gets out of the way. Which means we have 18 cars on the lead lap, the last one being Brian. It's not easy being Greenlee, having a great run. Let's go to 5th position. Boy, this is Martinez with Kerry. Oh, we're back a little one spot behind. Oh, side by side. There goes Karen. Now that's Limpkeman that they're going around. Here comes Groff behind him. Right ahead of these guys is a nice battle that I talked about. Getting out of the way is Tony Schowen. A battle here with Martinez and Kerry, a pair of rookies going at it. I think these might be our top 2 rookies if I remembered if I paid attention to what Mr. Hearn was telling me in the Countdown to Green show. Better take a quick look at that and make sure he knows what he's talking about.
It's actually Martinez and Rigney and Hill are the top 3 in the rookie standings.
Kerry way down in 6th. Thank you, Richie. In 6th, the number 1 in our hearts. And about to be passed right now. Nope. Martinez hanging in there.
Seven laps to go. Once again, Adam Blocker with his fresh tires putting in another fastest lap. Dipping into the 130s. He's just on fire. Open up that gap back to 4 seconds. Justin Wardlow doing his thing. He's got decent space to Damon Martinez. But Brian Kerry, man, he's right behind Damon Martinez, looking to try to take that last podium spot.
Martinez has sure had his experience going into Renifilio this race, man. Whether it's Blocker or now Kerry making a move down there. Martinez getting very good at defending in that corner.
Yeah, and Kerry's a rookie too. You know, he's 6th in the standings. It's all really tight, so we can see, since Karam's not here, we can see a big movement in some of these standings come after this race for the next one.
Good racing here as things start to wind down. Just a handful of laps to go.
Blocker coming out of the last corner, complete this lap, puts another car a lap down, puts Joe Branch a lap down.
Let's go to 5th real quick. This is Dan Guerin, Tyler Groff. Guerin with one of our onboard cameras, and Tyler Groff, our spotlighted driver. What is Guerin racing? I think he's in the Plasma Tracks onboard camera, right? Yeah, that's kind of like describing, if you try to describe a color to someone who's been blind from birth, or describing a smell to a freshly baked cookie to somebody who has congenital anosmia, it's impossible. If you want to check out what plasma-tracks.com, go there, see their stuff for yourself. You'll be impressed. LRS 2019 to get 25% off your order. Anosmia, I believe that is the proper pronunciation of that affliction for those who cannot smell.
That was impressive.
Okay. After my Taco Bell dinner last night, my wife wishes she had that. Looking at here, just a handful of laps to go.
Top 3, not much going on. Brian Kerry, not really close enough to make Martinez, although they are coming up to some traffic, so that might be something to watch in a few laps. Dan Guerin, Tyler Groff, same thing. They're kind of together, but not close enough to make any move. Haven't said much about Stephen Larkamp starts 10th in 7th, all by himself. Brian Yazik trying to come back still from his bad pit stop that he had earlier, or penalty. We don't know which one it was, but I think it was a penalty, a speeding penalty.
Let's jump to 12th real quick. Ron Hacker. Up 9 spots. And the guy we've been watching, Bart Workman. Now, he's lost a few spots, and he's now lost a ton of positions. Bart, as soon as I put the spotlight on you, baby, you lost your chance there. He was right behind Hacker. Was looking to crack into the top dozen. Raising back there in the Baker's dozen position. They are on the lead lap, though.
They are on the lead lap. We have, looks like 14 cars left on the lead lap.
Let's talk about John Hill. He's on the lead lap. Let's get to him before Blocker gets there because he's coming in a hurry. Hang on, baby. Poor John. Boy, when you're doing this, you want to finish 5 laps to go. I don't think John's going to be able to stay on the lead lap.
Now, Adam's just putting in these massive laps. He's probably going to get him in probably the end of the next lap. But John doing a good job. Started 22nd, 14th, stayed clean. Joe Branch hanging in right there. He's battling with Andrew Kinsella.
These guys are the first cars 1 lap down.
There you go, another fastest lap by Adam Blocker. It's like 8 fastest laps he's put in.
That is salt in the wound, is it not? There is.
Sometimes you're just on a roll.
Let's see. Kinsella's going to make this pass now as he goes to what will be the inside as they head up into De La Rogia. Let's see if Kinsella forces the issue here. About a half car length in. He's there. Joe Brandt says, go ahead, Andy. Be a while between Martinez gets to him.
It's really amazed at how this race is kind of spread out. At the beginning, we had all 5 of those guys tight.
Tyler Groff had an issue, though. This is going into De La Rogia. It looks like he had an off and probably picked up a slowdown penalty. He went over the bump, so I think the car is okay. It would be the second hairpin, yeah. I believe it was the second hairpin for Groff, yeah. But it's not a big issue for him. I think he picked on a slowdown penalty. Not sure if he lost a position. He didn't even lose a spot. Just a little bit of time. But right ahead of him is an interesting battle, though. This is Kerry and Guerin. Guerin is reeling him in. They head down into Redifilio now. What's interesting is they have that Kinsella well, that's Martinez. Look at that. Martinez is trying to get around Kinsella. They've managed to get around Branch.
Yeah, we got 4th, 5th, and 6th, or basically 3rd, 4th, and 5th, all stacked up. So Dan Guerin really needs these points, as many as he can get with Adam Blocker out front.
Yep.
So he needs to try to force the issue maybe a little bit on Brian Carey.
We're going to look at this 8th position pass. I believe this is Weaver getting around Yazik. We ride on board with Weaver. Gets a good run. Ducks to the inside of the HPP machine. I think Yazik's a little bit wounded.
Yeah, I don't think his front wing's supposed to look like that. So he has gone off somewhere and hit something. Still hanging on to that position, but race has not gone as well as he would like when he was running, what, 5th at the first third of the race?
Yeah. Let's go to 3rd position real quick, Director. This has been a hard race for me to get a handle on because I just thought Guerin was trying to run down Kerry. Next thing I know, Kerry has driven away, and now Kerry is right behind Martinez. I tell you, and Martinez really moves out of that, getting the power down.
Yeah, I think Guerin had a little trouble getting around Andrew Kinsella. It's just the timing of when he caught up to him is what gapped him. These two guys got by him pretty cleanly, but Brian Carey's looking to take that third spot. Damon's got to hang on. He's getting a little bit loose out there.
Martinez first in the rookie points. Carey sixth in the points. This will certainly help him in the standings. The Candyman ahead of these guys by about 4.5 seconds. Dustin Wardlow in no man's land. About 6 seconds behind Blocker. About 4 seconds ahead of Martinez. Now you can see it on the tower over there to your left of your screen. Last two cars on the lead lap. Hacker on the inside. Workman on the outside. Down into Redifilio, and Workman gets that pass made for now. And with the white flag coming out, the bad news for Hacker is he lost that position. The good news is I think he's going to finish on the lead lap, Ron. My goodness. Adam Blocker with too many wins to keep track of now. Look at this battle
Brian
here.
Carey.
Oh, my.
Side by side, wheel to wheel. Nicely done. They're still side by side. Oh. Watch out for that. Oh, boy.
Martinez
This is,
trying to squeeze him. Martinez on the inside. Carey says, thinks wiser of it, yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't get any closer than that, and it's pretty brave.
And Carey loses it. Now, does he get out? Does he lose a position? He does indeed loses one to Guerin Groff. By the time he gets going, that'll cost him 2 spots.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy with that. He's having such a good run.
And
Able to keep going, though.
And that's what rookies do. Although Damon Martinez is rookie, he's doing okay. Meanwhile, somebody who is not a rookie is Adam Blocker. The final corner, number 11. Nothing but him and the checkered flag as Adam Blocker picks up the Plasma Tracks Grand Prix of Monza. Wardlow takes second. Martinez, after fending off Brian Carey, will get third. Guerin will vulture a position, and Richie talked about it. Every point counts. Groff will get fifth as our timing and scoring gets caught up here, and Carey will end up in sixth.
Yeah, he almost got passed by Steven Larkamp, though. Steven Larkamp's right behind him at the finish, but he's going to take home 6th spot.
Beard just had an off. He's the last car on the lead lap. I think Stouffer's going to get the best of that. Let me correct myself. Beard is not the last car on the lead lap. That's going to belong to Ron Hacker, I think. And as the rest of the field cycles around, 12 cars on the lead lap. First car 1 lap down, Bart Workman. A great run, nevertheless, from him, 25 to 13th. What we'll do is take a short break here on the Global SimRacing Channel. We'll come back, run down the finishing orders, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. You're watching GSRC on IESN.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Welcome back to the Plasma Tracks Grand Prix of Monza and the stereotypically named Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. If you're struggling to find something for the person who has everything, do I have the website for you? Plasma-Tracks.com not only produces original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophy, home decor, and motorsports fabrications are also available. You know, I tried to explain what it's like during the race when we did an in-race plug. Words cannot do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way to fully appreciate their artwork is to see it for yourself, and I recommend that you do so. But be warned, one visit, and the next thing you know, you'll be trying to convince the person that lives with you why you need a Plasma Tracks wall art hanging in your home. See it all at plasma-tracks.com. Hey, I got a promo code for you, LRS2019, to get 25% off your order. And again, I cannot recommend you taking a visit there. You'll be surprised. Let's give you 100% of the HPP finishing order here of the -273 Grand Prix at Monza. Up on top, well, once he got around Damon Martinez, it was all she wrote as Adam Blocker picks up yet another win. Dustin Wardlow moves up a position from third to get the second position, with Damon Martinez really putting on the star of the show here as he fended off attacks left and right as the rookie gets the final podium position. Dandy Dan Guerin remains within striking distance of Blocker in fourth. Tyler Groff avoids the curse of the spotlight as he goes from 9th to 5th. The back half of your top 10, Brian Carey, Stefan Larkamp, Justin Weaver, Brian Yazik, and Christopher Ritchie.
Brian Beard's going to come home 11th, started 11th, so right where he started. Ron Hacker, nicely done, 21st to 12th. He was the last car to lead lap. Bart Workman, 13th. John Hill, 14th. Andrew Kinsella, rough day, to 15th. Joe Branch, 16th. Brian Greenlee, 17th. And Tony Schoen, 18th. Michael Goodman, really rough day, 5th to 19th. Not what he looked for. And finishing 20th is going to be Scotty Johnson.
With an ace and a face card, it's Brandon Limkeman, one lap down. A pair of deuces for Mike Rigney. James Brandt in 23rd. 24th is Paul Jackson. Quarter century mark is the Bakersfield boy, Jason Galvin. Big Joe Hassard and Joe Canagan Flanagan in 26th and 27th. He had a great run early, but then things went south for Isaiah Dupree. He finishes in 28th with Bob Mikas after him. 30th, 31st, and 32nd goes to Scott Bolster, Chris Sleepy Lanini, and Ken Hacker, with fan favorite Connor Harrington not able to take the grid. There are the 32 cars that started the race and their finishing order. With that said, I get the honor of talking to Adam Blocker, whose second half of the race was a little less exciting as the first half. Adam, my goodness, you were just bugging the heck out of Damon Martinez.
Yeah. First, I couldn't quite get my pace together in qualifying, so ended up second. But yeah, Damon put in a great lap, and then after we went green from the restart, Damon just did a great job defending. I think I had more pace, but he was just so good on the brakes, and honestly, I mean, him forcing me to go around the outside of every single time was, really difficult for me, and I wasn't really willing to push the envelope super hard, going for points and everything. And I figured I had the pace, so I would eventually get it. But it was just frustrating trying to, between trying to time push the passes right to clear him, or, just getting, it was hard to keep my calm, like trying to, after, getting denied the opportunity to pass so many times. And then I thought I had him. I came out of the pits and I was in front of him, and then I thought he was too far back, so I didn't use push pass, and he did, and he got past me. But yeah.
And you actually never did get him side by side. You had to do it by taking an amazing evasive action.
Yeah, I have no clue how I avoided that. Obviously, I was all over the back of him like I had been for all the previous laps, and all of a sudden I saw him start to lose it in the middle of a scurry, and yeah, I ideally I would have been able to go left, but the momentum of my car was such that, I had to go right. So I just panic braked and think I locked them all up, and then released the brake because then I was about to go over the gravel and didn't want to hit the wall. So released the brake at the right time, went over the gravel, avoided the wall, and got the lead. And yeah, somehow kept the car clean. I barely avoided him. So,
are you aware of some of the lap times you were putting down there near the end when you had the thing locked up?
Yeah, I was trying to get fastest lap for sure. So kept extending it out, and it was pretty fun there at the end. Monza's a pretty cool track in this car, so really.
Hey, put on a good show for us. It was entertaining. Congratulations on another win. See you down the road.
Yeah, thanks for calling it, guys. Hope you guys enjoy.
Adam Blocker, yet another win, and he opens up the gap to his competition a little bit more. Richie?
Yeah, I believe I have Dustin Wardlow with me. Started third, finished second. Really nice result. Dustin, pretty exciting there at the beginning, and then it kind of spread out there at the end. Just give us a little rundown of your race.
Yeah, well, the qualifying time came from out of nowhere. I had just started practicing Tuesday, and this track and this setup was going to take a lot more than that. So I was really shocked, and then even just to be able to hang with those guys as long as I did was a shocker to me. Just didn't expect it at all, but was just happy to keep it clean and stay off the grass and out of the wall, and come home anywhere. I was hoping for a top 10 and ended up with the podium. It was great.
Well, don't cut yourself short there. I mean, you qualified third, but you're able to run that pace in the race, and so it was really nicely done, really consistent. But I want to ask you, the first, before that first round of pit stops, the five of you were all stacked up, and you had some really close moments with Adam right in front of you. We both, Soup and I, were commenting that, how good a job you're doing not running into the back of them. So I'm sure you're hoping that maybe they would get together.
Well, yeah, I guess you're always hoping because those guys are much faster than I am on the regular. So today I had a little bit of pace and not much, and I think the draft helped me keep up close. And to be honest, I wasn't. I know you guys might have been commenting on how well I was doing with that, but I was scaring the crap out of myself. So I was just trying to back off a little more. But the more they fought, the slower they were going through there. And we're really fortunate. I was glad that all of us maintained. I was sorry to see Damon catch that curb and everything, but Adam and I got through clean, and Damon got through unscathed, and I think it turned out okay for everybody at the end.
Yeah, no, it was a good race. Damon was definitely pretty exciting out there, trying really hard, but Adam, once he got in front, he took off, and just kind of the way his season's been going. But it's been good to have you here. It's been good to have you here and talk to you, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, great. Look forward to it as well. I'd like to thank DwarsCandy.com and First Medical, especially for sponsoring this whole season, and Butt Kicker and Plasma Tracks. We got a ton of sponsors. It's tough to go through all of them, but they're all pretty cool. And kudos, hats off to George and the admin team for always keeping us together.
Yeah, very absolutely true to that. So there we are, second place, Soup.
Good interview from him. And of course, Dwarfs Candy, a great sponsor here for the Lionheart Series. All right, I get to talk to the driver who finished in third. Damon, before we talk about the race, let's go even earlier. You had to be amazed. Hey, I'm on the pole. That was a bit of a surprise, huh? Or no?
A little bit. I mean, I felt confident coming into Monza. I mean, I'm much stronger on road courses than I am on ovals, and I just put in a solid lap, and I was a little surprised Blocker didn't put a better lap in, but I just put my best lap in, and then lap 4, I think I just slowed it down. I wasn't going to beat the lap, and I just carried it on for pole, so that's always fun.
Okay, we like to work our way through the field and show the racing all the way through, but the early part of the race, we could not get away from the lead. You're using every trick in the book to keep Blocker behind you.
Oh yeah, he was. I mean, the draft's so big here. I just couldn't pull away just enough to keep him from catching, like just being on my bumper going into the first chicane. So then it just became a braking battle every lap, and it kept the top 5 pretty close because we were just side by side slowing each other down. I don't think I did a 31 to almost the second stint, but I mean, it was pretty fun. I was keeping him behind me. He tried to go inside after the second chicane or the second chicane a couple times, and I held it off. And then after the pit stop rotations, I was able to get him on the inside. So I think I could say I was the only one who was able to actually pass it without spinning it, you know?
You did get him. In fact, let's talk about the pit stop. You came in a lap before he did. Did you have one more in you, or is that as far as the car was going to go?
Oh, I would have ran out of fuel before the lap ended if I won another one. He was able to save enough in my draft, so it was no other option but to go for the undercut.
Got it. Well, it worked. He came out. Actually, he came out in front of you. Then you got the pass made. Let's get to the mistake that we all know about. What happened?
I just put the right wheel too much on a little bit of that curb, and it just unsettled the car. And thankfully, I kept it out of the wall. I'd done it a couple times at practice, so I was pretty aware of it. But I just turned in a little too much. Kind of like Verstappen says, it was the one lap I wasn't pushing absolutely through there, turning in a little too early and spin it.
I don't know if you've seen the replay yet, but are you aware of how close Adam came to getting you?
Oh yeah, I saw him in my rearview mirror, and then I saw him passing my front nose as I looped it, and then just trailed into the end. And then I was able to catch 2 through 4.
Yep.
I was running the top 5, and then Dan made a mistake coming out of turn 2 and let me by, and then I was able to clear carry on pit rotation, and then I hit lap traffic towards the end, although I think I could have caught Dustin, but traffic was really heavy towards the end. I had to save just a little bit of fuel to make it.
Well, you were the star of the show. It was fun to watch you race. Congratulations as you sit on top of the rookie standings. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, real quick, let me say thanks. I probably wouldn't have gotten the pole without Sage Karam, that guy. Being able to use him to give me telemetry and all that stuff to help me become a better driver. I wouldn't be here without that guy. He was sick tonight, so he wasn't able to make the race.
Good to know. Thanks a lot. Congratulations on that podium spot. Damon Martinez with a shout out to Sage Karam. Richie, you got one more.
Yeah, we got Tyler Groff here, and Tyler, really nicely done. Started 9th, finished 5th. You were also our spotlighted driver, so you kind of broke that curse as far as not crashing out right when we spotlight that driver. Give us a little rundown of your race.
Yeah, I kind of got the McLaren curse and forgot how to function as a race team when qualifying happened, but I was able to come back, and I wish I was able to challenge for podium, but I saw how hard they were racing up there, and I've had some bad luck here the last couple road courses, and I just really wanted to bring it home, and I got a little gift there for the top 5 on the last lap, so I'll take it.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. You had some moments, but that right at the end, Brian Carey trying a little bit too hard to get that 3rd place kind of gifted you that 5th spot.
Yeah, and before that happened, I was kind of on that pack of guys, and I was kind of just waiting until the last couple laps. I could see all the lap cars up there, and I was really just waiting to see what would happen. And then I just heated up the front tires a little bit too much behind Garen, and just smoked him going into the second chicane, and that kind of sealed it for me. But yeah, still a strong run, so I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime top 5 in this field is going to be a strong run.
Oh, definitely.
Well, thanks for joining us, Tyler. Hopefully we'll get to talk to you again next week. And really nice job.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
And there you have it, our final interview. Tyler Graff, spotlighter driver, picks up a nice finishing order. I personally have done well enough to have a pleasant post-race debriefing from the GSRC bosses. If I can just get through these plugs, okay. So let's cross our fingers. Let's go ahead and thank First Medical Equipment. They've been the source of medical supplies and equipment in the Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in product quality and customer service. So far, so good. Richie?
And Sim Experience, the team behind the AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive steering systems. By providing unparalleled realism and the most advanced tuning features on the market, the AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer. It can also make for an effective training tool for real-world drivers. So for more information on the entire Sim Experience ecosystem, including the GS5 Stage Series motion systems and Sim5 software, visit simexperience.com. And we have a promo code here, SimXLion, to get 5% off all Sim5 software.
How could we have gone so far into a broadcast before we talk about Butt Kicker? Those products add instant immersion to any game. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force, Butt Kicker products move actual mass, producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. Butt Kicker products add that missing driver-to-car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your sessions. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. Use the promo code LION25 to get 25% off your order.
To contact any of the sponsors you see on your screen right now, go to LionheartRacingSeries.com, click on 2019 sponsors, read or scroll to the bottom where you can click on the company logo. The iconic original music that lets your ears alert your eyes you're watching a GSRC production comes courtesy of June Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact her. On the screen now are just some of the companies, equipment, and software that made this broadcast possible. The Lionheart IndyCar Series returns in 1 week, August 28th, for round 15 from Charlotte. GSRC and IESN will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us.
On screen now are some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check them out and mark them down on your calendar. If you haven't done so yet, become a YouTube subscriber on GSRC by heading over to our YouTube page and hitting that big red button. If you want more information about us, how about GlobalSimRacingChannel.com, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, Twitter at GSR Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. And then we talked about becoming a subscriber. So with that said, finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Richie, Amjad, and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you for watching, as it was indeed Adam Blocker who picks up yet another win here at the Plasma Tracks Grand Prix of Monza. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.